Welcome back to the LCS Challengers as we are back for our second series of the day. It's Team Liquid Honda Challengers who fell to CLG Challengers in our first game of the series. Now, I'm Mazel, joined by Beatdown, joined by Soul from EVG. By the way, go follow Soul, get him some followers. I got to win the competition, but as well, Soul's just a great guy. So go ahead and drop him some follows. But he also got to cast with us last game. My man, how's it feel? Was that your first cast, or have you casted it any other time before?
That was my first cast.
It
was pretty nerve-wracking. You guys are too good at your jobs, man.
Nah, man, you did great. I loved your insight on some of those. Even though Bradley wasn't having a good time, it was really interesting to hear about the matchups and stuff from your perspective. But love to see that you're going to be joining us for another game, especially so we can get the growth continues, not just on Rift. It's in your casting too.
Yeah.
Do you want to try some play-by-play next time?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You know, give it a try.
Okay, King. All right, I'm here for it. I was realizing last game that like every time we see players, they're always colors. Why don't we ever ask them if they want to yell at the video game?
To be fair, players are so smart, you know?
They are very smart, but hey, I like yelling at video games, and I'm a video game enjoyer, so I'm sure it's pretty like it. So we'll see. We'll see Soul's play-by-play skills in the next game, but I do want to break down that game a little bit more, and especially look at the way that Team Liquid approached the draft. Very confident and comfortable, it feels like, against a scrim partner that they know very well, and it didn't work out execution-wise, Beatdown.
Not particularly. I mean, we're talking about that last draft again. We saw the top matchup and how important that was because we talked about it going into the game. Even Soul mentioned it that is hard winning for Darius, but it didn't play out the way Bradley was hoping for. So that's a lane that was struggling. APA, it's not a good matchup for Talia, and you don't get that push and ability to roam. And we didn't see any Reaver's walls outside of the laning phase really until later on. So the way that not just in draft but in game, CLG shut down TLC was a sight.
I've got an all caps response here from Soul saying you didn't realize what play-by-play was. And he wants to take it back.
Yeah, I had a feeling because earlier on you were really like stressing your reluctance to do that. So when you agreed, I was like,
play-by-play. Hey,
right.
I want it. You teased me, Soul. You can't just.
I apologize. These caster terms are foreign to me. You know, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself.
Fair enough. Well, maybe one day we'll get the Soul play-by-play. But I do want to take your thoughts on that draft, especially from TL's side. And do we kind of see that same particular style come out, maybe without the Darius? But do you like what you saw in the base structure of TL?
Yeah, I think both sides came into draft with a plan. I mean, obviously for TL's side, they're trying to get the Draven ahead and get his resets, and then hopefully the Darius can also be like impactful in team fights later on. But for the most part in this game, CLG got the advantage early, and they've been kind of pushed the advantage, snowballed it really well, got basically all the objectives except for that one misstep. And TL was able to stay in the game by playing Spot the Inter for like 10 minutes, and unfortunately the game came crashing down afterwards. So
what is the game Spot the Inter? Can we get a breakdown?
Spot the Inter is usually, you sit 4 people in a bush and you just hope someone walks in. And luckily for TL, that happened quite a few times, but they weren't able to bring it back. So CLG, for the most part, were just in the driver's seat of the game.
I will never use another term for that ever again. Thank you, Soul.
Yeah, it's gotta be that, right?
So much. That's such a banger. Oh, that's such a banger. So, especially with the way the meta kind of played out in this one, you saw some comfort come out from CLG challengers, but also stuff that's not necessarily like the forefront of meta, right? We got the Viego again, something I know you're comfortable with working with Shaden, but as well as copies, Zoe, and some different pieces to the puzzle that felt like definitely played to the strong points of CLG this time. So I guess for V-Town, is it just kind of rinse and repeat, just take it back to this this TL squad?
Let's see. Waiting to see. I don't think we know side selection yet, so that's one of the first things I'm very interested in to see how draft gets shaken up, different priorities. Maybe red side or TL, as even though in the earlier weeks it's I actually noted that blue side had a very high win percentage, but I think as time goes on, we're seeing teams prefer to go for the red side and instead go for some kind of counter pick there. So maybe you give APA counter pick, and let's see. I'm finding out that CLG is blue side, so there you go. TL going exactly like I wanted.
Yeah, so a little bit of that switch up of sides, but I especially think the switch up in kind of priorities do change in that fashion. But we've seen some craziness from Jenkins. All right, so I maybe not the craziest stuff to come out here. Do you think we'll get into that spice? I know Warwick was banned in game number 1. Have you heard of the Jenkins Warwick? Have you seen the bloodshed that it's wrought?
I have heard the tales of the Jenkins Warwick. It is quite ferocious, especially more so to junglers than to top laners I've seen.
Rightfully fanned away, but I guess Jenkins, I do want to dive into this top lane a little bit. What is kind of your take on both these guys, and especially let's start off with Jenkins, who has brought a little bit more niche picks to the table this split as a whole. He's obviously known for the Kennons and a lot of the like flanking champions from top lane, stuff like that, but it's been interesting to see him adapt the Kled, the Warwick, things like that. So what do you think about Jenkins in Challengers League?
Yeah, I mean, outside of his creative picks, I think he's always been known as like a strong laner ever since he played in TL Academy, and he told me that he had a habit of 1v1ing Alphari a lot, which is where he got a lot of his lane prowess from. And, you know, Bradley, a newer face coming into the league, you know, initially with the role swap, has also proven himself to be one of the strongest laners in the league. So I think it's unfortunately right now top lane matchups aren't like the most volatile. They're usually like pretty farmy and stuff, but hopefully we can get something a little bit more explosive with a little bit more bloodshed in the top lane.
Is that a foreshadowing to potential game plank for Bradley? I don't know. Maybe we'll see the explosive barrels. Don't know if that's going to necessarily work out for him for sure, but I think also that kind of ploy into that top lane meta, if we get the Darius again, highly doubt it, but I definitely want to see a return to kind of see if we get a skilled matchup up there. But a big influencer in this one already from the start. Mid lane was important, but it's this jungle that ended up being super crucial beatdown. And looking at the differences from Kevy and Mir, where Mir has had a lot of that early proactivity and a lot of the wins for Team Liquid, they didn't have that. It definitely sputtered in the end when Kevy had all those kills on Viego.
Right, and the setup for him was so good with the Braum pick coming through here, because we got really excited about that during Champ Select, and I mean for good reason. It was really strong there for Parisi on the bottom side, because one, with that unbreakable wall, you're so good with neutralizing the all-in of a Draven Nautilus, and in fact they managed to get kills early on and basically win out that lane. And it makes it even harder because, for one thing, that ultimate gives you a lot of engage potential, and it also makes it really hard for you to do some face checking. All of this together sets up Kevy really well, because one, I mean, Braum passive is very cool, and that ability to help secure kills because your bot lane won pretty hard in the early game just made it like that much easier. You take the Nautilus, you take Darius, you take Talia, whoever you take at that point, it was all sevens for Kevy.
Yeah, and that's the biggest piece right now, is that you did just get kind of that strong performance from all fronts of CLG, so it feels a lot harder to kind of dissect from Team Liquid's approach there, but we're getting a little bit closer to draft here. So especially for Team Liquid and your eyes, Soul, what are we getting top lane, man? What, predict it now. Maybe you'll be big brain, maybe you won't.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I think maybe Bradley will whip out the GP. You know, he's known to play that, and I mean, hopefully we get another Warwick game by Jenkins. You know, I mean, I'm looking for something spicy, and anytime Jenkins picks like these off-meta picks, he always like goes the mile with it. So I'm excited.
One thing I really quickly want to know, ask for you, Soul, is when I asked this on Array when we interviewed, but when you're down a game, especially in a game like that, how do you guys bounce back? Like, what are the conversations like going into the next game?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just focusing on the match. Obviously, feelings are in the air. You know, you just lost a match. Emotions are high and stuff like that. But I think it's definitely on as competitors and on the players to recognize that, hey, like, you know, although it sucks we lost the game, you know, we got one more to go. Let's try to put that aside and let's rethink our plans.
Okay, I like it. I think that's a decent game plan as well. So we'll get into draft now, figure out how those game plans pan out. The CLG Challengers were on the blue side this time. TL Challengers on that red side. And again, looking for those very, very typical bans. Trying to see some of those big meta choices taken off the board. But we immediately get the focus from CLG Challengers into APA and take away the Cassiopeia that was taken away in phase 2 of last game. It is the Ashe taken by, in the ban phase at least, by TL Challengers.
This time around, you're taking, I think you still want to take Cass, because CLG, if you give Copy the Rise, he's going to first pick it immediately, and the easy answer comes through for TL. So what we're going to see the switch up I'm expecting from TL is that you're going to give that last pick over to APA, because that matchup, what he's going to be playing into, I think is going to be very important. We saw a lot of different things, a lot of different factors came through for CLG to win that game, but I think mid was also one of them, because you want to, again, gotta stress this, Talia, lane is cool, you want to get out of lane. Weaver's wall to the side lane, to the bot lane, to the top lane, wherever, just anywhere but mid.
But mid.
Yeah, you don't want to be there. So having someone, if you're going to play Talia, you're making sure it's not into someone who can walk you into lane. And if there's a better option, you have the last pick. So it's great.
True. You got a little bit more options on the table for you. We do get that last Elise ban in there, as well as the Varus ban by TL Challengers. We'll see what their final ban is going to be. It's the Rise. So taking that away from Copy. Still,
Sedge is up.
Warwick wasn't banned this time. All I'm saying, not saying it's being picked. I'm just saying it's on the table. All right, Beatdown.
Yeah, it is possible. I think Sejuani or actually Maokai is up. No, it's got to be Maokai.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be the trade back, right? It's gonna be the two of them.
But like, I mean, Maokai is like the best jungler at the moment, and giving that over to Mir, who is getting that champion a lot more than I think should happen, is another mistake in itself. So you get that lockup, that lock in. TL likely gonna take Sejuani maybe after. Just want to secure themselves the 80 carry on that second pick too.
Wonder if we see that kind of often here. So it is the Caitlyn locked in. So that aggressive bot lane, very lane dominant bot lane for TL starting to show its face here. But I wonder what this pick for CLG is going to be. Probably towards this bottom lane as well. We get the classic of the Ezreal Karma for Meech and Breezy.
So right off the back, a lot of mobility with this Ezreal. And I mean, we talked about the Bush games that teams like to play when they're behind. When you're playing Sedge, the whole game is a Bush. Yeah, the whole game is a Bush game at this point, because that Glacial Prison is ridiculous for catching people out. So having an Ezreal, even though lane with the Karma, you should be able to get pushed. You still should be able to contest in that bottom side, but you also have that safety, which is super important.
Yeah,
especially when you're playing into Caitlyn Lux.
I was gonna say, I am not necessarily sold on how they're gonna navigate this bot lane. I think there's gonna be a lot of damage going their way that's gonna be difficult to deal with. I think their poke is obviously really good, but if you get caught out once, I definitely see the kills starting to rain down TL's way. And we're into second phase now. We're looking at solo laners again. That just is how the meta has panned out. It is the Akali banned away against Copy, but APA Ziggs taken off the board once again.
Yeah, not willing to mess with that in any capacity, which I respect for CLG's side. And we're just going to continue seeing mid lane bans, it looks like. And we'll see if the Cherry is another one for CLG Challengers, just removing yet another option from APA. And I like that route because Copy's going to have to blind this time around. But then again, Sylas is up and available. I actually think Sylas would be pretty good for CLG Challengers.
Ban. Warwick's on the table still.
Think so?
I do really want to see what CLG's answers are going to be here, because we had heard from Copy saying a big focus for them is banning out the quote-unquote small champion pool for APA, and they have put a lot of focuses there, but you still have the Azir, a setup potential for APA in a big way.
And it must be because they're expecting the Sylas already to come through for Copy. I think Sylas is honestly a great pick here. And it means that TL, last pick for Bradley after what happened last game, throw him a bone. It's a good feeling. And because you're expecting that pick, it makes the most sense to give him that as well. But of course, surprising, nobody. Top lane has to go blind. Oh, look at that. Kasante's up.
Kasante, why not? Because it's always going to work out for you. As it does look like that will be the lock-in here for Jenkins. No spice today. Everything's nice and calm. As now Bradley's answer. Now, he was not calm last game. He picked the Darius. It did not go well for him. Went well for like levels 1 to 3. After that, no. So I do wonder if we get that stable top laner here for Bradley, or maybe even the game plank like we were hovering. Oh, there's your pick.
What did I say last game? What did I say last game?
So, but took the Darius last game. What you say about that? Did not go well. Olaf, second time's the charm here for Bradley.
He's going for both counters top side. I can't wait to see what Soul's reaction is going to be. Overall, bot lane, most exciting part of the map, I think, besides Bradley's lock-in, of course, because this Ezreal is going to be really important. You don't want to get this Kate Lux fed. You want to minimize the place, minimize the losses. And because you have push, because you have a lot of poke with the Karma, that's what I'm expecting to happen here for CLG. Meech does well, CLG will do well.
A lot on the shoulders of Meech, but something that he has definitely risen to the occasion. I think a beautiful thing for that bot lane, Meech and Breezy. But all eyes for me back on this jungle, back on what we get in this top lane, but specifically back around Copy and APA, having those champion pools whittled down a little bit towards APA, but still some very strong performances in last game from both of these would-be mid lane stars.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these players we keep talking about for various reasons. Copy last year was one of the best mids going through, and APA is someone who finally gets the call, and they're in this pretty volatile matchup where we've seen both sides do well before in regards to champions. So it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. We had MVP runner-up prospect for Copy last time around, but let's go ahead and bring Soul in. Let's hear exactly what he has to say about this newly formed top lane matchup. Jenkins, tried and true on the Cassante, but Olaf is the chance for Bradley to make something happen here, Soul.
Yeah, super excited for the Olaf pick. I think it's a perfect situation to pick it in. Great into the Cassante, great into the Maokai, great into the Silas. If this Olaf gets running, he's going to take over the game. He's going to 1v3. He's going to do Olaf things.
And we're going to be getting in game now as well.
We did see that exact situation last game when Bradley picked the Darius. 3 melees, I believe, was the tally. A lot of ways for him to run over the game, as you said. So hopefully, early game goes a little differently this time for Bradley.
Now we see spam in chat. Who you think's going to win? TLC for Team Liquid and CLGC for CLG. As we get a pretty soft start from both sides. Maybe we get a little vision toggle here coming through. And I think DL realized there could be some spice coming out from CLG, kind of returning the favor from that game 1 spice that TL were trying to have. But back to the focus of Bradley playing a little bit Chadley here, the top side. Soul, is this just a confidence move? Is this mental damage being done early on?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you walk into your jungle and you see your Olaf standing there menacing like that, you're gonna be a little bit scared.
Over me, menacingly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's just good play by Bradley. He's getting information for his team. He'll know where the enemy jungler starts now, and he's just using all the advantages the lane gets him.
How crucial is that early game knowledge? I mean, especially you can have big moments where it is crucial, a little bit situational, but are you constantly communicating that early game presence towards your top side? Is that a jungle call that you're making from the top side of the map?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, any information you give your jungler is OP, and sometimes as a top laner, we just want to be involved. We just want to be part of something.
We just want to help.
Call it and feel like you care about me.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to feel loved.
So do you have like the welcome baskets open for the junglers when they come top?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
What are you presenting to them? What are you bringing up there in the top play? Like,
hopefully a kill, for my jungler, of course.
Oh yes, of course. He says cheekily laughing, knowing he's gonna take the kill. But APA doing a nice little trade on mid against Copy. It feels like this is what this matchup will lend to until Copy gets those levels up, beat down.
Right. You need some of those levels. That's why you're seeing the minion DMAT coming through for Copy as well, just to help with the farm and help to not get too many waves shoved in under your crucial moments. And now APA is going to be able to have the push. Mir, we talk about the creative pathing we've seen from this player. What is he going to be able to do with it? Right now, it's a transition gank. Not as creative as other things we've seen, but sometimes it's the usual stuff.
Fight.
Hey.
Mir's going in. Copy. He's getting low, but he doesn't go down. The nice bramble smash from Kevy separates the team, and we're getting the 2v2 in mid lane, while Bradley continues to pound his axes into Jenkins on the Cassante.
This is what happens. The interesting thing, too, especially with this matchup, is that Bradley wants that wave in, and if he's able to get the shove and it bounces back, by then Bradley will be level 4, level 5 by the time it gets to his turret, and that's when the rundown will really start to come through here.
Is this playing about how you would expect it so far, Soul? And how do you kind of approach this matchup as Bradley? Do you just try to push in as much as possible?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Olaf just wants to be right-clicking stuff. It feels good to swing those axes, get that lifesteal off. Yeah, I mean, he's up CS right now, and Jenkins is doing his best trying to deny that crash, maybe do some cheeky stuff, pull him into a tower. I think both sides are playing this relatively well, and Bradley has the CS advantage right now.
Him down. getting a little bit of damage done. Oh my god. Poke is real, people. Poke is real.
That's right. This isn't just old-time Facebook anymore. Some real poke in this bottom lane here. Beach and Breezy getting the advantages that CLG were banking on, and that's why Mir is here.
All
he so often does to the bottom side. That's right.
Actually, he's gonna back away from that one. So it was not a bait.
The bait was a bait.
The bait was a bait of a bait.
It was for us. Oh my god.
We get the I mean, hey, we're always getting baited on broadcast. Now, Dragon is coming out 35 seconds up. We didn't see big prevalence of that early stacking last game, but it did come into heavy reliance, at least for CLG later on. I would like to see how kind of Mir specifically gets a little bit proactive. I think once that level 6 mark hits, you'll see those drive-bys with the Glacial Prisons, and that's when TL can kind of feel confident moving forward. I would think, Soul, as Bradley.
Oh
no! Look away now, you children of peace, because Bradley has been taken out twice in this series and now loses yet another counter matchup in the top lane. Soul, that's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. Feels bad. Cassante once again doing Cassante things. Hit him with the Q3, swinging back into the tower. Bradley wondering where this all went wrong, you know. But luckily for Bradley, I mean, it's not completely over yet. You know, Cassante gets a kill, but Olaf still does Olaf things as well, and you know he should be okay in the 1v1. But maybe next time he'll be a little bit more careful where he stands.
See that positioning there, definitely. Maybe caught looking a little bit, and still getting back into it now. Need to. For this top lane for TL. I need to find that stabilization they could not find in game number 1. I feel like we're looking at now movement on the bottom side of the map by Mir. Kevy is already hovering around mid lane. And a big focus for CLG has been on the APA, and they get another engage. Emperor's Divide, though. And APA stands tall like a mountain with an Aurelion Soul dab.
The timing on that's pretty good too. Just the fact is, you get the flash into the Twisted Advance from Kevy, but what really matters is that APA used his ult very soon after getting it. It will be up and available for the Herald fight because TLC's top side is the stronger one when it comes to level 6 spike and fighting around that 8-minute mark. So honestly, not a lot gained for CLGC there.
And I guess when you're looking at map state right now, obviously not a lot given over to either side thus far. But I guess next steps here in terms of communication, Soul, are you looking back at how to get involved? I guess we're going to look at CLG get involved. Man, how have all the kills just been like instant? Like, it's insane. It's just fighting them constantly.
It's okay. Next patch, we'll have the tanky support, so you'll have more to play-by-play let it, okay? But until then,
it's too fast, man. It's too fast.
Hey, nobody blames you. It's not just you. I'm sure play-by-plays everywhere are
it's
suffering.
Not you, it's me. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Well, as we see, 2 kills on the board for CLG, and a little bit of fire starting to form here that TL need to put out. Now, Soul would love your idea of how this happens in the collapse.
Well, it's basically Kim Down's face checking here, and I'm sure he feels he's safe because, you know, oh, my jungler's behind me. No, it's all going to be okay. But then he doesn't realize the enemy jungler is also here. And then, lo and behold, Maokai presses W, and then that is a deadlock. You know, not much to say past that, Kim Down. Unfortunately, you got, like, the Maokai press W on you, and now you are dead.
That's just how it works.
Support things, you know?
Yeah.
It's just not feeling good. And I guess for the Maokai, it's feeling real good. Now, we do want to look at the setup now for Copy. He's working towards that Roa. We're looking at these item completions going to be coming on the next few minutes. Still no reliance on the Dragons, but a little bit of presence from Mir towards top side, and a Rift Herald coming up on the board beatdown.
And 2 things to highlight looking at the gold differences here is that mid going in favor of APA, which you kind of expect in this matchup, but top, we talked about it, counter matchup, but because of the kill, Jenkins is ahead in gold, and Meech and Breezy, because of the promptness of their jungler, are also ahead. This Caitlyn Lux, looking at the minimap, haven't picked up a single plate.
They're going to find the not unstoppable Jenkins as he just gets dragged down to the depths, and Bradley makes good on this top lane matchup with a gank from Mir as Emperor's Divide came through from Copy, but APA still has the shifting sands. He gets out of there.
That's pretty huge.
Finally, some much needed breathing room for Bradley, I think. Looking at the lane state, it looked like, it looks like Jenkins was getting the better of him after the kill, and you gotta fight
How big
side.
of a gift basket are you giving Mir now for Bradley? Like, is he getting all the kit and caboodle? He's getting all the stuff.
I think the gift basket has to be from it's actually from from their bot lane, because although Bradley's eating good, Arrow, unfortunately, and Kim Down have to take the brunt of it, and unfortunately for them, they just gotta deal with it, because they gotta get Bradley back into the game.
Gotta deliver the goods.
Yeah.
It's tough too, because this is Caitlyn Lux. You're not going to be playing very well from behind, and this only gets better for Meech and Breezy, who not only will Breezy offer more utility compared to a Lux later on in team fights, but Meech, he's going to start scaling up. Once you see that second item come through, he's going to be able to, those Mystic shots are going to hurt. He's going to be able to have a big impact in these team fights. And it's interesting too, because no objectives have gone either way yet. No team really interested in things like Dragon at the moment. It's just the Rift Herald that Team Liquid were able to secure, and that's where my eyes are. Where are they going to drop this? Who are they going to dive? Because the long banned Sejuani is in the game, so someone's going down.
I'm gonna guess. I mean, we're seeing a lot of pings on mid lane. Breezy, nice hands flashed there out of the shifting sands and the Emperor's Divide from APA. I'm wondering if they were pinging mid lane to drop the Rift Herald, but obviously with a lot of presence from CLG, that's not going to be the case. We have Dragon started up by Kevy here, so aggression is the name of the game. Maybe just contesting or flipping these dragons here, as TL actually moving away from this one. And Soul, it's a little bit of that calm, cool, and collectiveness coming out from CLG.
Yeah, I mean, right now, CLG is definitely playing super, super relaxed right now. They know that their bot lane's ahead. They just need to let them take these plates, take these towers. And for the most part, they just got to avoid these Sejuani ults. They don't want to get turned into noobs like Beatdown said earlier in the broadcast. They just got to make sure this mirror is not, making the map super volatile. And they know that they'll have the scaling advantage the later the game goes.
Bradley's on his way towards mid. Will be spotted out by the control ward there. Does see it, so at least the communication is definitely there, but with no objectives on the map, we should see both teams kind of returning to state of normalcy. And there's no real big early game advantage for either of these teams. I mean, if you had found something bot lane for Arrow and Kim Down, that could have been the avenue, but it's definitely looking like a long sitter here. We're going to be getting to these big dragon stacks, getting to potential Barons, Elder Dragon maybe even, and I'm very much trying to see how much of that cool under pressure there is from TL, where we saw some of those very tight moments from them in the past beatdown. It's another moment where they almost had a pullback last game. They didn't find it. Now they got to start new in the second game.
And this is going to be just as tough for them to be able to make happen. Hey, Kevy?
Just a little touch from the vines. He just wants to make sure to get the plates. Look at that. Look at all that gold.
I agree. I just mean, like, that's honestly some crazy awareness from Kevy to just drop the ultimate there, because even though he doesn't see, the Rift Herald is still available for Mir. So you want to make sure that Meech can get that wave in, auto the turret a couple times, and make it so that Mir can't dash and use the ultimate.
And I love just to see the clashing swords that we've gotten in mid lane so far, over and over again this game so far as well. Like, both of them using Emperor's Divides, trying to get each other. Both of them just going in for these big trades. Yes, most of the time not landing these big engages, but at least they're being risky. They're trying to go for it. And for both these mid laners, it is moments to stand out like these that are so important to them. Copy, though, maybe needing to stand down a little bit, does steal that Emperor's Divide, but leads straight into the waiting arms, or the waiting glacial prison of Mir. And TL come out with one. Emperor's Divide gets Kevy back out of the engage on APA, though. APA's in trouble now. He's got Jenkins on him, and Jenkins secures the kill back for CLG. Flash over here, and all out Kim Down is all dead.
That's just a great roam from Jenkins to help take something back. More, in fact, than what TL were able to take in that play. It looks so good. And now this Cassante, who should be struggling, is 3-1 soul. It's got to feel good, no?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, Jenkins is playing this so well right now.
Take a look at this replay, though, as it all started with a Rift Herald drop, but Mir waiting in the wings here. And just that communication on point, Soul, in this fight for TL.
Yeah, I think there must have been some sort of miscommunication from TL as well. I mean, they're going for this play, and you know they're super committed, but then suddenly they see, oh crap, Kazante shows up, and Jenkins just runs away with 2 kills here. I think it's definitely unusual for Kazante to be able to like move down like this without being punished in a matchup like Olaf, but Jenkins has just been playing this so well.
Oh, wait. Copy in the 1v2 now has a little bit of support from his support. APA getting low.
No binding.
APA not going to go down. The flash from Mir. That's big stuff. As now CLG back away the mid lane. First tower goes to Meech in the side lane, but TL trying to capitalize in mid lane.
But realistically, they don't get anything. Worse, you have to commit flashes, summoner spells to save APA, and you aren't even facing the full might of CLG. Meech gets first turret bonus gold and just continues to accelerate in this game. And even though we're not seeing as many kills as we did last game, CLG steadily advancing this lead. As wow, I actually want to take a look at Meech, the gold in general, just to see what the difference is between this Caitlyn and this Ezreal.
Sure,
it's got to be sitting on a lot of gold
here very shortly. Yeah, as it is those item completions that are going to be coming to bear for all these squads. As Roa is on that second stack for Copy. We're looking back at this dragon stacking potential for CLG, but Rift Herald also on the board. So Solo, what a breakdown where each objective is important for both teams coming back on the map.
Yeah, I mean, right now the primary objective is the Rift. I think it should be CLG's for the most part. Jenkins does have that teleport available, but right now CLG is in a position where I think they know that they win the 5v5, and they're just going to try to look to take any fights that, you know, is on an even number, so they can, because I'm pretty sure they're confident that they'll be able to win. So right now, TL will be giving up the Rift, and they're playing for Dragon setup, and I'm sure we'll have a fight there as well.
Get that Rift Herald over to Kevy as he dots the I. Meech having dodged out of the Glacial Prison by Mir. That's another big cooldown used for TL trying to find a pick in mid lane beatdown.
It's brutal, and this is the beauty of that Ezreal pick we were talking about in Champ Select. Has Flash and Cleanse, also that Arcane Shift. And now, Kevy...
Kevy's in a little bit of trouble. APA needs to get that number. It doesn't hit anybody with the Emperor's Divide. That is still a separation, though. Jenkins going to chase him down. The Shelly assist. The alley-oop for CLG Challengers, and a double kill for the top laner, Jenkins.
Wow. Again, Jenkins coming in to save the day. Meech, or rather Arrow getting Meech's shutdown is a pretty big deal here. But ultimately, CLG get the neutral on top of it all. And this Kazante, Jenkins especially, is just having this insane map impact.
Is Kazante fair, Soul? Well, you know, he is a season 13 champion, so for season 13 champions, you know, I think that's a bit out of the question. But I mean, Jenkins has been playing this super well. Gotta give him credit for it. You know, I think they're banning the wrong champion. You know, I think it shouldn't be a Warwick ban. We gave this guy Kazante 2 games in a row, and he's perfect.
Yeah.
We'll see Copy against Bradley in the side lead here, but I completely agree. And it's been Bradley getting the confidence from the squad, right? And rightfully so. A lot of times we've seen carry performances from Bradley, but he's gotten kind of this would-be counter pick twice, and it just hasn't worked out. And again, that testament to Jenkins just playing so damn well on the day. It's providing so much for CLG to play around beatdown.
Yeah, not only that, you still have your AD carry who's ahead of this Caitlyn, who had a very rough early game, which means that, yeah, Meech did get caught out in the last fight that we saw, but Meech is still going to be able to have that impact. Still has Flash to play with and a good amount of damage to boot. I didn't get a chance to look at his items, but he must have had a pretty good buy after he got shut down by Arrow. And now we have both teams. This blue buff is very important to both of them.
Heavy on the side with Nature's Grasp ready to go. Jenkins going to have to clear down, though, as Glacial Prison has been used. Mir, big engage tool down, big peel tool down as well if CLG want to go aggressive.
You can see it. Not in fighting necessarily, but they are setting up vision. Now they know they're not afraid. They're not as afraid, excuse me, about getting picked off like you would, getting turned into a noob like Sejuani does. So they're just going to be able to push, not take any camps, but basically handhold Meech as he gets this wave into the tier 2.
And I guess for Jenkins, when you're looking at target selection, are you just looking to get in the backline and cause trouble here, Soul? Is that just kind of the forefront for the Kazante, but Jenkins in this match specifically?
Well, I think Jenkins has been doing a really good job disrupting their backline, but I don't even think he needs to do that. I think Jenkins right now at the current state of the game has a lot of options. His Ezreal is extremely strong, up, as you can see, about 1,500 gold on the Caitlyn. I think as long as he can make sure that his carries live and, you know, their carries aren't doing as much damage to his carries, then I think these fights should be relatively easy for CLG.
Okay, so a little bit more of that defensive peel nature maybe needed for Jenkins, just to make sure that things go right. TL making a move on bottom side. Arrow might be caught out here. That Emperor's Divide is almost nicely timed. Does find the Nature's Grasp onto Bradley. Does have his support there. The support shirt. Oh no, Arrow! He got so greedy and went for the honey fruit. He's just gone. TP from CLG. They find Meech though, so big capitalization. A lot of damage down now, but you still got to deal with Jenkins. The final spark is not that, and Jenkins is decimating the team. The sad piggies, or the piggies, are squealing at least for TL. We'll see if Copy can continue to push on APA here. He might take him down. He has the Kingslayer. It's pretty tanky, and Breezy helps secure the kill. Kim down, dragged down yet again, and CLG, they get a 5,000 gold lead here 20 minutes in.
Wow, even with Meech out of the picture, we forgot to set up Copy here on the Silas. Even Meech did the damage. Arrow was out of the picture, and you have Copy on the Silas putting out insane amounts of damage in this team fight. So much playmaking potential as well, and it starts here. I mean, the good awareness to drop that ward, to realize he's under a lot of pressure, and that's the info CLG get to go for this play. So much so that he just immediately goes in for the Emperor's Divide to try and take down APA, get a summoner or something. And the point is, time has been bought for the rest of the team, and I mean, you saw it right there. You called it out, Mazel. As soon as the Piltover Peacemaker comes through, Arrow is done and dusted. And oh, we have a fight on the main screen. Oh!
Bradley Chadley with the solo kill in the picture-in-picture. We get to see the rest of this fight here, Soul. Big stuff from Jenkins with that engage, but again, it's the solo laners really shining through.
Yeah, I mean, Jenkins played that super well. He TP's in. He kind of just cleans up the rest of the fight. But yeah, basically once his ult is gone, you know, he's kind of just a sitting duck as well. He gets CC down by the rest of the team, and Copy cleans up the rest of the kills. Really well played by CLG.
Go back to live here. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Copy really like sat there for a full second. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna flash."
Just trying to make sure it needed to be done.
Yeah. He like hovered his E to see the distance. Like, can I make it over this wall? Ah, fine.
Oh my God, kept down. Just literally a sapling. Oh no. Oh, heavy. Not enough saplings to save you today. Oh my God, is it? Okay, Glacial Prison comes out of the end. I was about to say there's no way he gets out of there. Shutdown goes over to Bradley. TL, they're hovering this Baron. A little bit hesitant to go for it. They know this fight is not one they can take afterwards, Soul.
Yeah, I mean, TL once again behind, but they play spot the Inter, and luckily they found a Maokai, you know, so...
Just the bread and butter now, TL, just spot the Inter.
I mean, it's been working for them, you know, if it works, don't they can just keep doing it, but yeah, I mean, they're on to the Nash now.
Is this something that Spot is going to hold over Juves here? He's like, at least we can get all the picks in the bushes. We'll see. TL, though, wanting to get this flank with APA, but he gets all outed. APA out of there, though. Arrow almost dies outright, though. Final Spark comes in. APA chased down by Jenkins, and he's dominant as Arrow bursted out by Meech. And Jenkins, the inevitability will reach your doorstep, and he wants to chase down Mir. I don't know if he has the strength, he has the will, but he can't find the way. Beat down.
Wow, and what an incredible fight from CLG. They were down in numbers because they lost their jungler, but they still made it work. And oh, Mir, the Glacial Prisons have just not been hitting this game, and that makes it even tougher because they use that ult during that fight to get the pick on Kevy, and that's what gave the opening for CLG to move in for this Baron fight. And they earned the Baron for themselves in the process, as this gold lead is just ballooning.
And we came into this series with a 7-7 record for CLG and a 9-6 record for TLC. Coming off of this dominant performance, 2-0 for CLG, they even their record here. And that's incredible, where TL has shown so many bright spots already in the early parts of the split that CLG have finally found that confidence through Copy, through Kevy, through their solo laners, and especially their stable bot lane. It is incredible to watch unfold here, Beatdown.
It is. We're just continuing to see CLG live up to that potential that we expected from them. Adding Copy, that player we thought so highly of. You said it. Runner-up MVP from last year. A player who, quite frankly, we expected to be in the LCS. And the fact that he is still here just kind of further cements that this is his time to really prove that this isn't where he belongs. He needs to be at that next level.
See, APA gets bursted out by that True Shot barrage. We'll see CLG trying to corner TL into the corner of the bottom lane here as Jenkins is pushing the mid lane. Should be looking at that inhib tower. Nature's Grass comes out. They're about to win a 4v5. You can't let this happen, TL. They got to pick the pieces apart. You got Jenkins coming in for the haymaker on behind, and Meech is still alive. Here comes Jenkins, and you better run for the hills, but the hills will not save you today, as Arrow gets one traded back, but that's a TP in the base. That should just be game win for CLG.
2-0. One of the perceived hypest matches of the weekend ends in domination for CLGC. They will go 2-0. They will finally get that positive record, and that means Team Liquid have gone 0-4.
Not great things in this setup for TL. Still a lot to work from, but I think there was definitely some differences in looking at kind of CLG's attack plan here, Soul. They said coming in, Copy knew the champion pull for APA was an issue. They targeted that. They looked at Bradley staring them down with counter picks. They took it to the face of Jenkins, really coming up clutch, and does so in this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, just overall great play by CLG. You know, they know their picks. They drafted well. They weak-sided Jenkins both games. He's blinding, you know, and he does amazing into his matchups, and the rest of the team just looks super fluid. Copy's completely smurfing, lands headshot after headshot game one on the Zoe, and on the Silas, he's just cleaning up every single fight. It's really amazing to see.
Yeah, back into it here as Jenkins, just the ever-persistent threat onto the map. And right now, licking their wounds are TL. And trying not to get aggressed on by Jenkins a little bit more. I do want to talk and get your perspective, though, about these players, right? Bradley kind of coming up like right before you, switching over to top lane. Jenkins, obviously you talked about his time on TL, but kind of what is your thought process on these two guys? I know we've gotten your breakdown of kind of mechanical skill, but what is your perception of these?
I mean, I definitely feel like Bradley's definitely the type of person to like want to carry. You know, he has these amazing carry performances. But from speaking with Jenkins, you know, he's the type of person who he's similar to me in the sense that he doesn't really mind what he plays as long as he wins the game, and he's really showing his proficiency on the champion like Cassante, and he's able to be weak-sided, such as in the Darius game, and then now he's on the strong side, just completely carrying. It's really great to see.
Love to hear that little breakdown. Thank you so much, Soul. And now we get the siege continuing. The siege that is non-stop as Jenkins just knocks them back. Nature's Grass comes out, hits onto three members. True Shot barrage a little bit wide there by Meech. Maybe want that one back. But the siege actually defended by TL, and APA having a lot to say in that fashion. Beatdown.
This is tough. Mid inhibitor is down, so those supers are in the base. So look at Copy just stepping up to claim, rather hijack, that glacial prison. You can tell he's very much feeling himself considering how strong he is. Level 16 alongside Jenkins, and this could be where the game ends, guys, because there isn't much for TLC to really be able to do. It's just clear waves as much as they can, but make sure you don't get engaged on, because that could spell the end.
They ended up defending that top side, so another inhib not going to go down just yet, but CLG will try and squeak out all the rest of TL's resources around the map here. Minute and 15 seconds for a Dragon Soul. Soul, is this even something you go for at this point for TL? Do you just try to fight for the Cloud Soul, or do you just let it go to Elder?
Honestly, at this point, this game is, I think at this point, unless CLG makes some sort of grave mistake, their keyboards get unplugged or something, this game's basically as good as done. Yeah, exactly. As good as done for TL. I mean, I feel like TL could probably, you know, do a couple more rounds of spot the inter, but I don't think there's any amount of inting that will allow them to realistically get a grip of this game again.
Copy, second guessing, walk into that bush. That was a little close, but maybe found Bradley there. Now Jenkins chasing down Kim Down. What are you doing here, bud? You can't come around these parts here. Kim Down just taken out by Copy. Actually, Meech gets the kill. As the back was completed by APA, they pushed out that topside wave, so CLG don't have anything to collapse with. But Baron coming up in 20 seconds, Dragon coming up in 15. It's definitely on the table beatdown.
It's definitely the Baron as well for CLG. They have so much control over vision that pick off Kim Down makes it even harder for what tiny chance Team Liquid had to be able to contest this neutral objective. And it's Cloud Soul, it's theirs if they want it, so of course they're going to be focusing this one here, and this will be their keys to ending the game. And I love this from the solo laners. They're standing up very aggressively because you can't just walk here.
Oh my god, Mir just gets half his health bar taken out. The Baron just being done over the wall by Meech. Breezy a little bit low, but Copy has the Emperor's Divide. Arrow getting oh so low, and they shove back both of them. It's the double Emperor's Divide, but it did not matter for TL. No wall will stand between CLG and their prize of a 2-0 victory.
Oh man, an Arrow just out of the picture. It means they're going to be able to get both neutral objectives if they really want to. But with this Baron, I think the play is just Baron, reset. You don't even need Soul. Spend that gold you've earned these last couple of minutes on top of the Baron, and you just close this out.
An attempt coming out from Kim Down. Nice little final spark there. Try to get it back on top. But reset coming out back towards Dragon. And dotting the T's, crossing the I's. I guess since it's backwards here, and especially in the way that this game will holistically come out of the end. I guess, what is your takeaway now looking forward to future competition for Jenkins, knowing that he has those spicy picks, but he has also shown that consistency here, Soul?
Well, because I 1v1 him a lot, I feel like this is like the type of play that I expected from him. I know he's like a very capable player. You know, I faced this Cassante on stage before against our match on CLG, and I know he's very, very good at this champion. I think once people start recognizing and stop thinking he's just, you know, like a cheese player and stuff like that, people will kind of catch on that he's quite a good top laner.
Oh, Copy!
Oh my god!
Well, APA had great praise for Copy, and Copy will punch down on APA.
He's definitely living up to that praise, living up to the hype we keep setting up for him. As maybe we said it, crossing T's, dotting I's, or whatever order you prefer.
No, it was crossing I's, dotting T's.
Oh, I'm sorry, crossing I's, dotting T's, as every good English speaker.
Mir connects it. Oh, Bradley? Bradley Chadley? He's on the back. He's not done any damage, though. He's getting taken out. Oh, he goes Meech. And this is it. TLF spotted the inter, but it's not in a bush. It's just in the lane. I think they might be the ones inting now, though. TL in some trouble as Jenkins has literally just taken a 1v2 to the bank. And CLG as well go all the way to the end with Copy pushing in top lane, and will even up the scoreline against Team Liquid Challengers. Jubes happy as ever, smiling in the background as he takes down his buddy Spawn, and the stars of the show, Jenkins, Kevy, Copy, Meech, and Breezy. CLG Challengers make a statement here today.
And it's just been a great performance from this whole team, the entire CLG squad. This is what we expected from them. This is the potential that we keep alluding to. And now they really show it to us with the 2-0 against Team Liquid, who again, 0-4 this weekend now. That one hurts. It's heartbreaking.
That one definitely hurts. It definitely hurts. And it's definitely something to kind of regroup, recapitalize on. Find what's working, find what's not working for TL, but all the praise deserved to CLG. And we are going to send it to a little break here while we get ready to hear from CLG's camp. So let's go ahead and send it to a break. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm here interviewing Meech after a 2-0 victory against TL Challengers. Alright, so I had to say, you guys had like a rough series yesterday. What was like the mindset shift going into this one? You know, after a tough 0-2, like what is the team like going into the next day of games?
I mean, honestly, like we should have won game 1 and game 2 yesterday. We just tilted, so I don't think any of us took it like personally. So we're like too bad. So we just said, you know, we're just gonna come in and play, see what happens.
Was there any goals going into this week or this matchup? Like, I know you guys scrim TLC a lot, so we're just wondering if there's anything in particular that you guys were looking to do.
Not really. I think we're just trying to play standard, honestly. And, I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Nice, nice. So, I mean, it is Valentine's Day, you know, it is the week of love. So, do you have anything to say to your duo Breezy? Like, you know, you guys have been kind of kicking it, smurfing it in bot lane. You got anything to say to him?
No.
Alright, nice. And I have to ask, you know, TL is definitely one of the stronger teams in the league. Like, what did this win mean to you guys? Or is it just like another 2-0 day? Or like, was this win something that you guys were like really looking forward to?
I think it's kind of just another 2-0 day, honestly. I thought they are one of the stronger teams. I honestly thought they'd be better than what they showed today, but I mean, I guess everyone has their off days, so.
Nice, nice. 2-0s, we take those. All right, and well, you said they weren't showing up on the day today. Is there any teams you're looking forward to facing or rematching during playoffs?
Probably looking forward to facing C9. I think they're probably the strongest team right now, so we'll see what we can do versus them.
Sick. All right, appreciate it. And do you have any shoutouts you'd like to say before we end it?
Yeah, shout out my whole team, coaching staff, and shout out Soul. And
Thanks, bro.
shout out my girlfriend as well.
All right, perfect. Congratulations on the 2-0. We're going to cut it to a break now. Thank you, Meech, once again. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.